Welcome to a new episode of the How'd You Meet podcast. My name is Chris Molina, and I am your host for today's episode. Today's guest is Odell Bizzell. His wife's name is Sierra. They've been married for 13 years. They've been in a relationship for 16 years, and they've been living together for 12 years. They have 3 kids, no pets. They are located in North Carolina. And a fun fact about their relationship is that they got married twice. Odell, thank you for joining us today.
Hey Chris, what's going on, man? Good to see you, good to hear you, and good to be heard and seen.
Well, I'm happy you feel heard and seen, and we're gonna jump right into the first question that we always ask. How'd you guys meet?
Well, we met way back in the early 2000s. I was at NC State, and my wife was a freshman. I was a sophomore. And I was going through a particularly bad week with the ladies, Chris.
Oh, man.
I was asking all these young ladies to go out, and they were creatively finding ways to diss me. And so I was having a bad week, wasn't really feeling like talking to any girls. And me and my buddy, my best friend, Justin, we were in the caf, and he points to a young lady in the distance, and he was like, "Hey man, that girl's in my chemistry class. Why don't you go holler at her?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Like, like I don't even want to, because at this point it had been, and I don't know, like those listening, what your, courtship habits were.
Mm-hmm.
But back in those days, we used to play this game called point and holler. It's like you point at a girl, your friend pointed a girl, and then you go holler at her.
Yep.
I know that's not politically correct, I know, but that's what we used to do. Yep. And so whenever you did that, though, the big thing was there was always an audience, because your boys was looking to see if you got dissed or not. So I wasn't trying to play. Like I was like, you know what? Nah, man, I'm good. And then, everybody has that friend that knows how to push your buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known Justin since we were 11 years old. Like, he's still my best friend to this day, more like a brother. So he's like, "Oh, come on, you Odell Bizzell." And whenever he or anybody close to me, like, "You Odell Bizzell, come on, man." And I was like, "All right, fine. I'm gonna go holler at this girl." But I really couldn't see her face.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw her walking away.
Okay.
And I was like, "Man, he about to set me up with an unattractive young lady."
Sure.
Because if that was the case, he would have went to talk to her.
Sure.
So,
like, why haven't you tried?
Exactly. Even though he had a girlfriend, but that's a whole nother story for another day. That really didn't stop him back in the day. But anyway, so I go up to her, talk to her, and she's cute. So I'm like, "Woo, okay, she's cute." And I sit down and we just have a really, really good conversation and found dining hall. I expected to be there, Chris, a few minutes, because my thing back in those days, I'm like, I'm trying to get to how available are you?
Sure.
So I would always open up with a line like, "Hey," especially in college, "Hey, how are you?" Something simple. "Is anybody sitting here?" Or, sure. "How you doing?" And so I asked her, "Hey, how you doing? Is anybody sitting there?" She's like, "Nah, you can sit down if you want to." I'm like, "Bet, got it." Sit down. Then the next question was a qualifying question. I'm in the marketing. I've always been in the marketing. So I was like, "So does your boyfriend go here, or does he go to another school?" Because then it's like, I need to know if you about to friend zone me and how I need to approach this conversation, or like, do I have a chance?
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, he doesn't go here. He doesn't go anywhere. He's not in college." And I was like, dang. But I'd already sat down, already committed. And I'm like, all right, 3 to 5 minutes of talking.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be out.
Yeah.
And we sat there for 2 hours and talked.
Ooh.
Like just sat down and talked. I got to know her, got to like her. She gave me all her information, like a way to contact her and stuff like that. So that's how we met.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys built a good relationship, because you thought maybe there wasn't a sale there. So
Right. Yeah, I didn't, because it was kind of like, as soon as she told me she had a boyfriend, then I found out that it was her high school boyfriend. So I've only had two girlfriends my whole life. My high school girlfriend and Sierra,
Mm-hmm.
who I met in college.
Sure.
And so when she told me she had a high school boyfriend, I was like, you know what? I don't really have a shot, because even if they break up, they're gonna go through the, making up to break up type thing.
Sure.
So I was just sitting there, just, listening to her and figuring out a way to leave, really. Like, I was trying to figure out, like, what's a polite way for me to get up and leave.
A good exit.
Yeah, but the more she talked, the more interested I was in her. And then I found out that she really didn't like her boyfriend. So that's kind of why I stuck around. Because I was like, she don't really like him. Because he didn't go to college. He was kind of he dropped out of college.
Got
so
it.
he went, but then he dropped out. And they're from a small town, and he kind of wanted to stay in that small town. I'm like, all right, okay. So but yeah, it turned out really well.
That's awesome. I love hearing that story, especially one thing that seems to be a trend is long conversations sparking out of nowhere. But I do want to move on to the next question, because this is one of my favorite ones. What's one thing that Sierra does that makes you smile and feel warm inside?
All right. I don't know who our listeners are, so I'll keep it G rated.
I pressed PG whenever the podcast gods asked me what's going on with this episode. So
yeah, I'll keep it G. Sierra's really good at. She knows, like, what I like, and I know that sounds super simple, but I'm a simple guy. As simple as can be. Human beings are complex anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm a really simple guy. So she'll do things like, hey, I know you have, like, lately I've been on this health kick and having, like, holidays. I didn't eat anything. And she said, I'm gonna make you some cookies. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it. I don't need it. But she made, like, some really healthy type cookies.
Bunch of oatmeal in it.
Yeah, like pumpkin seeds and all of that. Some kind of super deluxe flour that I've never heard of, all of that stuff. She's a holistic health coach. So
nice.
She made that. And so doing little stuff like that, having the kids kind of in order.
Sure.
Because you know this, Chris, when you get married, romance is different.
Yep.
Like, it's not always the flowers, the candy. It's sometimes, hey, all the kids are bathed, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
When I come home. So she does stuff like that. And then the biggest thing is she makes me feel like a cliche, $1 million.
Yeah.
She's always made me feel like that. Like, she's always believed in me. So she is a regular fan.
Yeah.
Like, she'll, oh babe, I'm so proud of you. I saw your video. Oh my goodness. Like, nobody can watch that and not book you, or nobody can see that and not want to work with you.
That's
You're
amazing.
just doing so many great things. I'm so proud to be Odell Bizzell wife. Like, she does little silly stuff like that on a regular basis, and that always makes me smile.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. She knows how to gas you up and be your cheerleader.
Yep. Absolutely.
Next question that a lot of times is very interesting. Can you tell us about your proposal story?
So as I laugh because we were talking about it before we started recording.
Yeah.
I'm a lyricist, right? Like, I'm a wordsmith.
Sure.
So I have lived probably, I'm confident to say that I've lived every young black male stereotype that there is. So I wanted to, play sports. Wanted to play sports, and I played, and I was pretty good at the time that I played. I wanted to rap. I wanted to be a rapper. And I recorded some things, and I've recorded some stuff. And actually, the first time that I went to the studio to record something original, I wrote an engagement track.
I was
My
wondering where this was going.
guy played Yeah, it's funny. But a guy I play basketball with, who I don't even know where he is now, but he made this dope track. And I was like, yo, and it was a track I did with my guy Justin.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I really like this track. I'm gonna use this track to propose to Sierra. And he was like, cool. So we get in the studio. I wrote the verse, and the verse ended, tell me yes so we can start our regime. That's how the verse ended. And so I told her it was August 9th, 2006. That was the day I proposed.
Okay.
And I told her we were on summer break, and I said, hey, come to Greensboro. Me and Justin are going to the studio for the first time. I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that knows me knows that if I say I'm nervous, I'm lying. Like I have never, I don't ever remember being nervous. And I say that because I reassign nerves with anxiety and,
sure.
and, readiness. Like I'm just ready.
Yep.
And so she was like, you're nervous? Oh my gosh. And I said, yeah, I'm nervous. I want to practice because, studio time is expensive. And, I just want to practice. And so we were in my room, and
was she your
like,
cheerleader
right.
still? Like,
What's that?
was she your cheerleader still? Was she pumping you up about rap stuff back then?
You know what? What's funny? She never really did. She never really did. Like Sierra is masterful at not, like, the whole saying, the whole adage of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Yep.
And so she was always like, oh, that's dope, or wow. She would never be like, hey babe, when's the next album coming out? She would never be like that. But she also had never, to that point, she had never heard me like really rap before. So it was kind of like, you're going to the studio, I don't really know what this is, or let me see it. Yeah. And so then I go through the track. I had to have my speaker was playing the track, and then I went into my drawer and pulled out the engagement ring as I was finishing the verse, and I was like, tell me yes so we can start our regime. And so she looked at me and she was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I was like, tell me yes. And I was like, tell me yes. And she was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh my God. Like she was like, wait. And so that was the whole proposal thing. She was just sitting there like, wow, babe, this is really great. And I'm like, yo, I'm proposing to you right now.
She's just smiling like, and nodding.
Oh, right. So, but that's really cool. It was just us though. It wasn't a big audience or nothing like that. It was just us.
No, and that's pretty cool because you were sharing something that you were actually passionate about with her. So that was amazing. Second to last question. We're rounding third here. What was your favorite date with your partner so far? Your favorite date with Sierra? When you guys went out, you remember it still, and it's something that you just think back to, makes you happy.
Favorite date? Well, at this point in the game, the favorite date is when, the grandparents take the kids away, like that right now. That's it. But a time that we actually went out, I would say this is a memorable one. I don't know if it's favorite, but there are different parts of my life where I felt like I had a lot of money. And one of the first times I felt like I had a lot of money was when I had a really good year speaking. And I said, babe, we're going to go to this nice restaurant. It's called Fleming's in Greensboro. And it is just so expensive. Like it's ridiculously expensive. Everything is a la carte. Like you don't get a meal. You have to order the chicken. Then you got to order the vegetables. Then you got to order the carbohydrate or the starch or whatever. And so I was like, we're going here. not only are we going here, I'm gonna get you drunk. Cause we famously like never ever drank. Like we didn't
Got
drink
it.
in college. We didn't do anything like that, primarily because of religious beliefs. We both
Sure.
grew up very conservative, and also alcoholism is kind of in our family. So it was kind of like, I'm not gonna do it.
Sure.
But in moderation, we have partaken a little bit.
Sure.
And so this particular night, it's like we're ordering. I'm looking at all the things, and it's like before, like not even calculating the drink, because they give you that separate bill for the drink.
Yep.
It was like $112 for two people, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. And I said, how was this food? And she was like, it was all right. Like it wasn't that great.
Not
And
$100 food.
Yeah, not $100 food. She liked the drink though. She liked the drink. But Sierra, was funny about her is I don't know what it is, man. She never wants to lose her like inhibitions. Like
Sure.
I'm like, hey babe, have a drink. And she's like, she'll take a sip and she'll be like, it's not bad. And I'm like, yo, like drink the whole drink. And she's like, I don't want to. I'm like, hey, this drink costs $18. You know what I'm saying? Like, drink the drink. And so she drank like half the drink. And so because I don't like wasting money, I'm like, man, give me the rest of the drink.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it. Like I'm trying to, I don't know what I was trying to do, to be honest. But I remember that, and every time, like now, I make a whole lot more money now than I did then.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, when we gonna go back to Fleming's? And she's like, never. I'm not going back to spend $115. Like, you know what I can do with that? So I don't know if that's favorite, but it's definitely memorable.
Yeah, no, that's a funny memory. That I think it's interesting whenever we think about those types of things, because you never know what comes back in your mind when somebody asks you about that. So last question, when you feel like doing something special for Sierra to make her feel like you absolutely love her, what's that thing that you do?
I think pre-Rona, as of this recording, we're still in a pandemic. Pre-Rona, I would always like send her away like for the day, because she's a primary caregiver of our kids, so she stays home.
And you guys homeschool, right?
3 kids. Yeah, we homeschool, so it's a lot, and our kids are crazy. This is another conversation for another day. But she's really, I don't think she's really good at like just taking time for herself. So I'll be like, hey, I'll come home early or won't go to work, and be like, hey, go get your hair and nails done. Just go. Be gone all day. And I got the kids, don't worry about nothing. I'll do that, or I'll cook. She likes when I cook.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm a B cooker. Like, I'm not a or anything, but I can do little things here or there. So
you're on par
I'll
with
cook
Fleming.
for. Yeah, I can cook better than them. $100 a plate. But yeah, so I'll just do that. The biggest thing, man, is time. Her being able to just relax, as you know, having kids, it requires a different amount of energy, a different kind of energy to to tend to your kids and to do all of that. And so since she's the one that's doing that primarily, I try to make sure that I am taking I'm sharing in that more. So I'll do that. And then also just again, keep it G rated, but she likes to cuddle now all of a sudden. When we were younger, she ain't like that. So like, she didn't like to come and curl up with me. She would not like that. Yeah. Now, as we're getting older, she likes the cuddles, as she calls them. So I'll just cuddle up and watch some TV or something like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. I love hearing these stories from people. And Odell, I appreciate it that you let us into your life and told us some stories about you and the beautiful relationship that you have. So thank you for your time today.
Appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting married couples and partners, and life partners to share, because a lot of a lot of the stuff that we go through is more mundane than it is rom-com. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
is more mundane, but this allows, like, medias like this allow us to kind of relive those things and look back at, why did I go up to her? Oh, it wasn't just because she had a big booty. It's because she was a good listener. It wasn't just because she was easy on the eyes, but she was
Yeah.
also easy on the ears. So
Yeah.
it allows people to relive that, man. So I love what you're doing. Appreciate you,
Thank
and
you.
yeah, I'm here to support always.